I've said for a long time that one day Beijing will announce that its currency is supported by the gold which its citizens own, taken off the Shanghai Gold Exchange since its inception in 2002. You come to something like 25,000 tons. Gold is coming back as a collateral within the global monetary system. You have central banks that are diversifying their portfolios of fiat currencies, which includes the dollar, or buying gold. I think I've said for a long time that one day Beijing will announce that its currency is supported by the gold which its citizens own. Mm-hmm. Which, when you do the sums taken off the Shanghai Gold Exchange since its inception in 2002, you come to something like 25,000 tons. But I think the next kicker, this is slightly speculative, is that during the BRICS summit meeting in Rio, I think it's in July, whether they announced it or not, I'm not sure. But they will have formulated a plan to back their currencies with gold. And that will be linked also to the Chinese currency. The details are a bit sketchy at the moment, but emerging from that summit meeting, I don't know whether they'll announce it or not, will be a BRICS currency backed by physical gold. And there will be in BRICS countries gold vaults into which each country will deposit so much gold, so that if, for instance, Iran is trading with, say, South Africa, there is a gold vault in each country, so they just switch their gold, depending on, the currency will be linked to gold. So the gold just swaps to the amount of the currency. I think something like that is under discussion. The conclusion that I've come to is that we will be in recession until the early months of next year, that we will have an equity correction sometime in the summer, followed by a second correction towards the end of the year. Sometime before year end, America, the Fed, will be cutting rates because of recession. And the government will be introducing their tax cuts, etc. We go into 2026 with fiscal and monetary stimulus at a point when inflation will actually be starting to rise again. So what we are going to have 2026 for the next 18 to 24 months will be a global recovery with a high inflation bias, US and global inflation by sometime in 2027 in high double-digit numbers, which means that long bonds like 10-year Treasuries will be over 10%. Gosh. It's back to 1981. But the less benign forecasts
end on a good note,
which I give a 40 to 60% chance, is that governments and central banks won't be able to inflate their way out of the system, and that we have ongoing inflation, ongoing recession into 2028. Yeah. Even that will have a high inflation bias. It's very, very interesting. If we go back to 2024 and earlier years, I mean, one of the reasons why Trump had a landslide victory was those who normally vote Democratic vote for him because they saw the real inflation in their weekly and monthly bills. Larry Summers took the CPI methodology back to 1983 and came out with a CPI figure for last year of 9%. The guy that I followed, John Williams of Shadow Government Stats, has religiously taken the workings back prior to Arthur Burns in the 1970s, when he started tampering with the workings of the CPI, because he did not want to raise rates in the mid-70s. And he comes out with an inflation rate last year, 10.8%. That's the reality, not the make-believe government numbers. I mean, you have to think that China's holdings of US Treasuries is one of the cards that they are holding in negotiations. My take is when the 90-day reprieve period has ended, that China is not going to give in at all. They will stand firm. And they have already, on some important plastic product, I've forgotten the name, they've imposed a very hefty tariff on America's imports, that material. So everything, I think that when Xi was in Moscow recently, that a game plan was established, which basically set out that Russia will remain firm in Ukraine, any peace plan will have to be acceptable to Russia. Their demands are very firm. China has probably agreed with Russia and Iran that on future trade negotiations, they will stand firm, and Iran will stand firm over negotiations with Russia over nuclear enrichment. So you've got three important members of BRICS standing firm. So it's up to Washington to decide what they want to do.